Hello, everybody. What's up? Stu Myrick here. Ready for another week of Sports Guys Talking Wrestling live from the world headquarters here in beautiful Northwest Austin. Hope you're having a good beginning of your week. Hope you had a good weekend. Mine was pretty good. Austin FC in the driver's seat for Copa Tejas. They beat Houston 3-0. And then got word today that someone that I've noticed and has been like a steady constant in the success that Austin FC sees, John Gallagher, defender. He has been named to the MLS All-Star team. So congratulations, John. He's going to be part of that MLS All-Star team that will face Arsenal from the Premier League on July 19th in Washington, D.C. So congratulations again to John. So we got a pretty good show planned tonight. We will recap everything that happened from AEW and New Japan's Forbidden Door. Great pay-per-view, by the way. Obviously, I think the match of the night, I think everybody will agree, Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega for the IWGP United States Heavyweight Championship went almost 40 minutes. I think someone timed it 39:49, so just shy of 40 minutes. But it was really good. The match with Bryan Danielson and Kazuchika Okada, that was really good, and we'll talk about it during the show. I think the problem it had is that it had to follow Ospreay and Omega. And it didn't even matter that you had the buffer with the six-man with Jericho, Guevara, and Suzuki facing Sting, Darby, and Naito. So, but it was good, so. But we'll talk about it. We also know what AEW has planned for All Out week and weekend. So we'll talk about that. And then we will preview this Saturday's WWE Money in the Bank, coming to us from the O2 in London. I know my friends over at What Culture Wrestling, they're excited to have WWE in their neck of the woods. I suspect we will see some probably live shots from Simon Miller and whoever the crew that goes. I think if I heard them talk about it this morning or whatever, I think Adam Wilborn and Michael Hamflett are going to handle the live stream, watch along duties. So they will be back at the What Culture headquarters, but I would suspect the rest of the crew will head over to O2 and see Money in the Bank live. So but we will preview that, I think, as of after last night. And that's what I got to print out. Dadgummit, I forgot about that. So, tell you what. Hold on one second. All right. Gotta get the hard drive because I got to print out the pick sheet. And there's Justin. What's up, man? Hey, do me a favor. Stay right there. I'm about to print something.
Oh, you just grab it?
Yeah, if you will grab it.
Sure.
Give me a moment. There's that. Let's see. Should be sending it any moment now. All right. Oh. And hey, you're a little earlier than usual, so that's good. There's 2 copies, so wait for 2 to print. We got NXT on the television. Gallus taking on Blade and Inofu, I think is his last name. And Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo watching from the little perch. Huh? Angel and Humberto? Yes. Okay. And they're in NXT now.
Well, that's good though. They need something to do.
Well, you know.
They have promise. I think they have promise.
It's possible. Good to see you, man. Nice hat.
Oh, I was gonna say I think it was the Macho Man shades that are the real winner here. But yes.
The Macho Man shades are a nice touch. Yeah. How you been?
Busy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not a bad thing.
Let's do it while I'm thinking about it. So next week, Tuesday is the 4th of July. Are you going to be in town?
No.
Okay.
I will not be in
We
town.
we may just put up a best of then.
Where are you going to be?
Well, I'll be home, but it's the 4th of July, so I'm not going to get somebody to, fill in.
No.
Probably just do a best of.
I'm supposed to be in New Mexico, so I'm hoping.
By the way, we also go next week. We go back to 9 o'clock Central.
Oh yeah.
Yes, Flex ATX goes back to Friday, so it will be Longhorn Blitz with Jeff Howe and Rod Babers and can't remember the other guy's name. Matt something.
Matt Stepp?
No. Matt Stepp works for Dave Campbell's Texas Football. But anyway, it'll be Longhorn Blitz 7, Fight Night 8, then us at 9.
Okay.
So starting next week. So
long overdue.
and we'll start with actually
long overdue.
I might be able to finagle something because we got Inspire next weekend.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, 10th anniversary show, and Eamon Payton is coming back for one night only.
That's cool.
I get to reunite with Eamon. So
Essentially, Mr. Inspire Pro himself.
the voice of Inspire. So yeah.
I mean, if anybody's going to know every storyline pretty much going into it, it's going to be him.
Oh yeah. Oh he's been there for every one of them. He was there from the very beginning.
Is he still in Pittsburgh?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well then.
He and Merlin are in. I think Pittsburgh.
Okay. Well, I mean, still not a close trip for him.
No. So, but it'll be good. Beyond Ecstasy of Gold, the name of the show. It's not this coming Sunday, but next Sunday.
Okay.
At Empire Control Room Garage downtown, and it's a stacked card. Boy, it's stacked. So, but we might be able to finagle something. Just maybe we won't do YouTube and Twitch next week, but maybe I get something for on Wednesday. I'll find a way to stay home instead of go to the office next Wednesday.
They're going to make you guys go into the office right after 4th of July?
Well, we get Monday off.
Oh, okay.
So we're closed Monday and Tuesday.
Okay, so you're getting an additional day regardless.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So, yeah, they have all the right to pull you back into the office then on the 5th.
Yeah.
I want my tax money making sure it's working.
And my in-office days are Wednesdays and Thursdays, so.
Oh, okay. So you hit that. It's on schedule.
Yeah.
Dang.
So we'll,
I'm hoping to be back.
We'll figure something out. It's Stax.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was going to ask you, who's that dude?
That's Stax. Because he put the other Gallus guy in the trunk.
Oh.
And I don't know. It's
okay. So
because Gallus got Tony D pinched.
So they're still
He's
running
in the
with
clink.
So they're still running with that feud.
Yes.
I don't know, man. I still just don't get excited about Gallus, though. Like, I understand they're the champions, but I was still kind of like, why? They just don't do it for me.
They were champions in the UK.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, I find them.
I don't know. I mean, they're big guys. Big guys, and they're I guess they're Irish
I think they're Scottish.
or Scottish. Sure.
Or I guess Irish.
Sure.
It could be either or, right?
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
I don't know. So anyway. Yeah.
I mean, it's been a long reign now for them.
It's been a while. Yeah. Ew. Ava's calling a schism family meeting.
But isn't?
Huh.
Oh, never mind. I forget. No. When's their big show?
Great American Bash, July.
Is that the one that's coming to town?
That's the one that's going to be at the HB Center
Okay.
in Cedar Park. July 29th, I think.
So that's what they're building
It's
towards?
either 29th or 30th.
So is this what this is all going to be built up towards then?
They'll start building towards it,
Or
yeah.
do they have like...
Because they're doing their Gold Rush shows right now. Then I suspect
But they're
starting next week they'll build to Great American Bash.
but they're not going overseas with
No.
at all?
No.
Oh, I think that's a missed opportunity.
They don't, NXT doesn't go to all the places where the main roster goes now like they used to.
But
they still tour like they did. They did the one show in Lowell, Massachusetts.
Yeah, but now they're trying to be...
which used to be Ring of Honor's old stomping ground. Now they're coming here.
But they're trying to be a third brand again.
They are.
Supposed to be, just developmental.
Baby steps. Baby steps. You can't just go from 0 to 100.
Yeah, but you could take Braun Breaker, and you can take Carmelo, and you can probably sell out the NXT show just on that alone.
I don't know. Anyway, so
how can you be skeptical?
I don't know. I don't know, and I don't really care that much. So we'll recap everything from Forbidden Door. We'll preview Money in the Bank, and see what else we can talk about. So, in fact, let's make a little radio magic, shall we? Do that and do that. Turn that up. Pull that up. All right, here we go.
Hey, this is The Stinger, and you are listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, where it's always showtime. Tune it in, and then tear off the knob.
When they're not covering the sports world, they're talking about the world of professional wrestling.
It's Sports Guys Talking Wrestling.
Now, with Justin Simmons, here's Stu Myrick.
It is Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. Stu Myrick, Justin Smash Simmons,
In the flesh.
looking ever so colorful. Whose kid is this?
It's just a general jersey.
Just general?
I mean,
It's not
every
even.
MLS team had one like 2 seasons ago,
Yeah.
but no.
Well,
this
they
was
were.
just
Yeah,
really
they
fun.
had. Yeah, they were. In fact, Austin FC was wearing some, practice jerseys. I guess part of Pride Month.
Oh yeah, but I mean, every team gets them.
Yeah.
and
so.
like every team is probably going to have like a 4th of July pre-match shirt.
Possible.
That's what they had last year. I almost bought one of those too because I found one, but it was just blank. But I do have the
gotta
matching
see.
jacket like this. That is Austin FC.
I know Austin FC. I know, a little soccer talk. I know they're at Inter Miami this weekend, this Saturday.
Yeah, but no Messi.
No Messi. Let's see. After that, it is.
But if they win, that would make it 3 in a row.
The following Saturday, they're at Minnesota.
Yeah, no.
Minnesota United.
Yeah, they don't have to be home until Leagues Cup, which is non-MLS play.
You are actually July 15th.
Oh, there you go.
They'll be home against Sporting KC. And then it'll be Leagues Cup, so they don't do MLS play again until August.
Yeah, there we go.
At St. Louis. So anyway, enough soccer talk. Let's get into some wrestling, and let's start with what we saw on Sunday with AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling's Forbidden Door. I would say all in all, a definite B+, A- card.
Ooh, a score off the stew at the very beginning. I was
would
not
say
expecting that.
What do you say?
Man, that's really tough because it was a really good show from the beginning to the end. It just really depends on how you like your wrestling.
Yeah.
I felt like, if I'm being critical, obviously, I felt a couple of the matches did go a little bit longer than they had to, but that's also their style.
Right, especially with New Japan.
Yeah, and I know everybody's digging the Kenny
Ospreay and Omega. Yeah. That one, I would probably say that was probably match of the night.
Oh, easily match of the night.
Now, it went, somebody timed it, 39 minutes, 49 seconds.
Yeah.
Was that long?
Yes. It's like a movie that's really good, but like you could have cut like a few minutes off of it and it still would have been just as good, if not better.
There was a point where there were so many false finishes.
And that's their thing.
And it is their thing, but yeah, I think I'm with you. They could have shaved a few minutes off of it and still had it was an absolute classic. But I think it could have still been an absolute classic at 35 minutes.
Yeah, if everybody was returning with 5-star ratings on that match, I totally understand why. But
it was a fantastic match.
But they could have cut out 8 to 10 minutes and still been a 5-star match.
I thought Ospreay broke Omega's neck with that Tiger Driver 91.
Okay, can we have a little Q&A on that? Like, there's some people that are very for that, and there was a lot of people, I guess myself included, that are like, you don't need to be doing that move. I understand the stakes of the match.
Again, I think it was a New Japan match.
Oh yeah, and
so
strong style rules.
As New Japan goes, they like a lot of those where it looks like you land on your neck.
Oh, but he did land on his neck,
and he did.
It's no, that would look like they do.
It looked tough. It looked rough.
I don't care how many neck bridges you do.
Now, if you believe the talk around the campfire, both wrestlers came back, went to the back, and they were fine.
As good as two could be after.
Right. I mean, there was obviously punishment, but overall they were okay. But Will Ospreay, in the end, gets the pin. He is the new IWGP United States Heavyweight Champion.
But how much longer can he keep that up, man? I mean, that shooting star,
it's
the shooting star press after he was draped across the rope. I mean, that was cool to see, but I'm like, that takes a toll.
Well, I mean, then again, said the same thing about Kenny. And he had to take a while off.
It took like a whole year.
Yeah. So how much longer has he got?
I know, and that's what scares me about him taking the moves that he took. Like, I mean, the DDT off of the steel steps, and no matter how well you protect yourself, you're still taking jarring damage because your body's going to shake.
The only other criticism I had was I was not a fan of having Don Callis come back out after he was thrown out. Just because it makes the referees look powerless. Luckily, he did not factor into the decision. But that was one other. It's a nitpicking, but yeah.
No, but how do you feel about the foreign object being used in order to pick up the victory? Because that means it wasn't a clean victory.
Well,
it keeps both looking strong.
The screwdriver spot didn't necessarily lead to the pin. Well, I mean, it was before the pin, but it wasn't like that wasn't what caused the pin.
Oh, I think it is because it changes all the momentum.
Well, but I mean, it wasn't. That wasn't the last thing that happened.
No,
so it wasn't.
But it's
screwdriver hit, cover him 1, 2, 3. There was still another.
I was going to say
a few minutes.
I was going to say in AEW, I don't think a screwdriver to the head is going to end a match.
Right.
but that was the momentum changer for Will Ospreay to get into the driver's seat and win the match.
I think they could have, I'm not crazy about it, but
How about
it's-
Kenny kicking out of his own finisher at 1 late in the match?
Well, I mean, it popped the crowd, so that's
Okay.
fine.
Yeah, I can't take anything
because
away
it's
from that.
it's his finishing move.
Yeah, it's not.
So Osprey,
Will's.
by logic, Osprey's not going to hit it as well as Kenny does.
Yeah.
So it was a fantastic match, though. It was match of the night. It was one of the best. If you ever get a chance, go out of your way to watch that one. It was a love letter. Brian Danielson and Kazuchika Okada, the main event. It was a great match. I think it suffered from having to follow Osprey and Omega.
That happens, though.
And that was even with the buffer of the 6-man with Jericho and Guevara and Suzuki against Sting, Darby, and Naito.
Which you know how I feel about multi-man matches, and that one was actually fun.
It was fun, but it didn't. Like I said, I think if Danielson and Okada was done just a random show and didn't have that absolute classic before it, I think a lot of more people would be talking about that being a classic.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was good. It was
a
really
good match.
Yeah. How surprised were you that Danielson tapped Okada?
Oh yeah, really surprised because I thought Okada actually was going to win this match. To be
I
honest,
really did too.
Because it was a really, I felt it was a really AEW heavy victory wise for like almost every AEW person won that night except for Kenny Omega.
I do believe it was either Excalibur or Tony Schiavone or maybe even Kevin Kelly that said, this isn't over, that we're going to see another chapter, and I hope so.
I really felt that they kind of underutilized Kevin Kelly, though. Like, I thought he would be more important, especially when it was the U.S. IWGP title. Like, I
think they used him.
I felt,
and I love Kevin to death. He's a fantastic commentator.
I felt that he should have been the lead for the IWGP championship matches. Because he is their broadcaster.
Yeah, I think it was simply a matter of it was still on AEW's turf, if you want to say that. So
I guess that makes sense.
That's why he had Excalibur in the lead. I think he and Kevin Kelly and Taz were a good combo. I really enjoyed seeing him and Excalibur, Kevin, and Tony Schiavone. That was a fun combo as well. All in all, I mean, plus we get to see, we get to hear Kevin Kelly and Nigel McGuinness every Saturday night on Collision now. So, although I suspect they're going to have to, I guess they're going to have fill-ins because Kevin Kelly's got to head to Japan to do the G1.
Yeah, but they already have a roster.
I'm sure. Yeah,
broadcasters that are easily
they'll get Excalibur,
or you get Chris Jericho to pop up, you
Yeah.
know, fill in.
So
You still got Taz. You got JR when he's healthy again.
yeah, when he
So-
comes back. So yeah, I mean they got plenty of commentators. So
I mean, they can hire us if they want. If they really want to hire us, I mean, well, I guess we can clear the schedule to make it.
I got that thing with the people in that place.
I know, but I'm afraid that he might have spent our contract money on Final Countdown.
Yeah, apparently he said it costs as much as a wrestler's contract to license that.
Yeah, I was wondering what type of wrestler he was referring to, though. You know,
But I think it was probably worth it. It was really cool to hear Bryan Danielson come into the ring to his old song. And apparently they can use it one more time.
yeah, I saw you put that in the notes. And I was
Yeah.
like, really? So they paid for
Apparently
it like
they've got
in advance.
They've
huh?
got one more. They've got one more use of it. My guess will be at All In London.
Oh, that's a good time.
That would be my guess.
That would be the most
So,
appropriate time to use it.
So, but like I said, it was. And did you hear? Apparently, Danielson admitted in the post-show media scrum that he broke his arm. No, forearm.
Yeah, I mean, still part of his arm.
Broke his forearm during the match. So he might be sidelined for a while.
Yeah, I mean, him being the consummate pro, it doesn't surprise me that he gave us a hell of a performance, even with and like you couldn't tell, like he worked around it. I'm sure we go back and watch it now.
When he was favoring the arm, but I thought that was just
selling.
Yeah, just selling. But apparently not.
Yeah. So I mean, hopefully he can come back by All In.
Yeah. Oh God, I hope so.
How long will
Oh, that would be it's 2 months.
I mean, a broken arm takes 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, so he could.
I guess if he does if he goes the Cody Rhodes route and wears the cast, right?
So, the IWGP US title was the only title that changed hands. MJF, Sonata, Orange Cassidy, and Tony Storm all retained their respective titles.
Man, nobody talked about that match.
Which one?
MJF. Even on the recaps, everybody kind of just glossed over it.
I think a couple of reasons. I don't think anybody believed Tanahashi was going to win the title.
Oh, of course not.
And look, I love the Ace to death. I think he is an absolute legend and a star, but there was no way they're going to put the title on him. And as much as I love him, that match on top of the match the previous night on Collision kind of revealed how much his body has been through and that he can't go like he used to.
Oh, not even close. Yeah. I mean, he's just a much older
He's
wrestler.
He's going to be kind of like Muta, had no knees left.
It's like him. You can see the same thing in Naito.
Yeah.
Like, he's just not as athletic as he was about 5 years ago, but that's just time.
Yeah.
They're still great performers. It's just that you can tell that the New Japan roster, a lot of their superstars are just a little bit older now.
Yeah.
And they need fresh guys.
So Jungle Boy loses to Sonata. And he was seconded by Hook. They walk up the ramp, and Hook goes over, kind of checks him, and Jungle Boy clotheslines him. Heel turn for Jungle Boy Jack Perry.
So they're just going to put him back with Luchasaurus then?
I don't know. I don't know if they do or not.
Now they both be heels, right?
They're both heels now. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to be the move or...
And they can come out to T-Rex's Bingo Gong. Since they're
heels
now.
Sure.
But what about, that Orange Cassidy match was actually really good, too.
That was really good. It did what it was supposed to do. It was, I think, a little bit of surprise that Orange retained.
Oh, yeah. I didn't think he was going to retain.
It was, I didn't think Zack Sabre Jr. would win.
I was really hoping he would, though, because he was looking strong in that match. So I was like, oh, he might.
He's fantastic, as is Shibata. I had a feeling they were going to have Garcia go over, but no. Orange Cassidy's still your AEW International Champion. Let's see what else. They were supposed to have a match with Adam Cole and Filthy Tom Lawler, but unfortunately Adam Cole fell ill, so they had to take that match off. They had Filthy Tom wrestle Serpentico in a dark match prior to the pay-per-view and got the win, obviously. But no Adam Cole and Filthy. So said hear that. CM Punk and Athena both advance in their respective Owen Hart Foundation Cup tournaments.
Were you surprised that was the leadoff match? Was Punk Kojima?
No, the leadoff match was MJF and Tanahashi.
I mean, yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Punk Kojima was second, I think.
There you go. It was like early in the card.
It was early. I don't know if it was because of
the lack of Kenta.
No, I don't. It may have been just Kojima. He's a bit older, so I don't know, but it was a good match. It was a fun match. Toronto did not like CM Punk.
No,
it was funny, and he leaned right into it.
But I mean, I think we kind of predicted that's how it was going to be going forward. Is that he was supposed to be a villain everywhere, but
that's
going to
be the interesting thing is how much of a villain will he be in the different cities.
Well, do you remember what the crowd was chanting to Ospreay when he locked in the crossface?
Yes.
Yeah, I can't repeat it.
We can't, but yeah, you're right. So, and then Punk gets the win over Kojima. He will face the winner of Samoa Joe versus Roderick Strong, which is going to be Thursday night on Collision. So I guess Collision, I would suspect. I don't know why it's not on Saturday night, but
so we're already,
as of right now, they've got Collision slated for Thursday night on TNT.
So we're getting already a special edition of Thursday Night Collision.
Yeah, I don't know what would be on TNT Saturday night to move it, but Athena, the Ring of Honor Women's World Champion, beats Billy Starks. Billy Starks, great up and coming talent. She's 18, I think. She will face the New Japan Strong Women's Champion Willow Nightingale, and that match will happen sometime. They'll announce when. But
man, she's really jumped up.
Willow.
In the last few
I'm a
months.
huge fan of Willow Nightingale. I think they could do great things with her, and so it's. She has really impressed over the last several weeks. So, but anyway, all in all, I mean, like I said, it was a fun card. The face-off was Sting and Jericho, and then Sting and Suzuki.
Yeah,
that was a moment.
Like, if you know your pro wrestling history, there was a lot of Easter eggs in there for you. And then if you just like pro wrestling, you've been following it for like the last 6-7 years, then there was a lot of dream matches that happened. So it really was a wrestler's fans' dream event.
As I think Excalibur said to close the show, a love letter to pro wrestling. And I think it was. It was just so good. I would suspect we're going to get Forbidden Door 3 next year. It'll be interesting to see who is part of that card, but it's such a great setup for the collaboration with AEW and New Japan Pro Wrestling.
I guess it just really depends on the politics of wrestling at that juncture.
It does, but
because who's going to be who's going to need who more at that juncture next year?
Well, but it's sounding like they work together well and all that good stuff. Tony Khan in his pre-show media call talked a lot about the good relationship he has with the New Japan talent, with Gato, with Rocky Romero, and it's one of those things where hey, they'll work together, and I suspect, like you said, I think we will see. We might see a few New Japan folks on the All In card, which as of right now, that's looking like a great show. And we, like I said, we don't know the matches yet, but boy, the possibilities. By the way, Tony did state in the post-show media scrum that everyone will be able to see both All In and All Out. Now, we suspect All Out will be your normal AEW pay-per-view, Bleacher Report United States, all the different outlets internationally. I think it's a matter of figuring out how to broadcast All In. So, speaking of All Out, they have announced All Out weekend in Chicago. So you will have Dynamite and Rampage on August 30th at the Now Arena. Used to be known as the Sears Center Arena. The original home of All In, which will end up being 5 years ago. Crazy is that. Collision will be September 2nd at the United Center, and then All Out September 3rd at the United Center. So yeah, all in all, a fantastic night of wrestling from AEW and New Japan.
They definitely have their work cut out for them for the next pay-per-view. That's
they
for
do.
Sure.
They got some work. Of course, New Japan's got the G1 Climax coming up So I'm sure that might fall in somewhere. But yeah, should be a lot of fun to watch both companies as they go through the summer. So we're going to take a quick timeout. When we come back, we will preview this Saturday's WWE Money in the Bank coming to us from London.
Cha-ching.
That will be next on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling on the Horn. Wow. We almost 22 minutes. 21:59. That's beautiful.
How do you feel about these Heritage Cup matches? Too convoluted rules. You don't mind the British style wrestling? Does it work?
I haven't. This is the first one I've seen. So.
And these are two faces essentially going against each other.
Yeah, I believe so.
Because nobody's throwing a strike, and they shook hands at the beginning, unless somebody's going to commit to, wrestling as a heel. But I don't think we're going to see that here.
I don't think so either. But. Yeah, I don't know. I know 3-minute rounds. I don't know how many rounds.
There you go. You saw the end of the round. I think there's 6.
Yeah. So this is round 2.
And I'm like, I don't hate it. It's just like kind of like watching a what did Ring of Honor used to call it?
Pure Rules.
Yeah, it's very similar
Pure
to
Rules.
that.
Except there's no rounds in that one. It's just you've got limited number of rope breaks,
which I did like.
All the different, I liked it just because it was different.
It was a nice twist on what you're accustomed to, and like if you could do it right, like those matches between like Danielson and Nigel McGuinness, where the 3 rope breaks came into play, then it's excellent and great, like rivetive pro wrestling storytelling. Yeah. But here, I just haven't watched enough of these type of matches to know if I really enjoy them or not. But so far, I mean, these are 2 really good wrestlers, though.
They are. Nathan Frazier is really good. And of course, we know Dragon Lee's resume.
Yeah, and I'm surprised that they actually chose Dragon Lee to be in this match.
Yeah, interesting.
Because I just thought that they would want him to do, like, Spot Fest style stuff, just because of his high-flying ability. Oh, did they count the pin?
Did they? Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I think they counted the pin.
Okay.
Oh, no. The round was up. Was the round up?
I didn't. No.
See, I'm so confused.
No, that was because that was quick. I don't think so. Let's see. No, they counted the pin.
Okay.
For Nathan Frazier.
Okay, so that ends the round, I guess. So if you get a pin, you end the round? Okay.
I guess so.
So it was a quick 3 count. I mean, because these guys are moving pretty fast.
Yeah, they are. So, all right, let's preview Money in the Bank. YouTube, Twitch. We'll be right back. Back here on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, Stu Myrick, Justin Smash Simmons. We turn our attention to WWE as they are getting ready to head across the pond to London, England for Money in the Bank. It will take place Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. So in the afternoon here in the United States. It will be evening, of course, there in London, and it will be at the O2 Arena in London. As of right now, 7 matches on the card, including 2 or 3 that got added Monday night on Raw, so we will go through this. Let's save the Money in the Bank matches for later. Let's start Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, who just brought us into the segment. Facing Dom. Dirty Dom.
He's going to lose. Dom.
He's going to lose to Dom?
Oh, easily.
I say Cody wins.
No, there's too many numbers to factor in. Who's going to protect Cody Rhodes?
Yeah, that's true. And Rhea Ripley will be ringside for
easily
her Dom.
Yep. I'm thinking Dom. Easily Dom.
All right. I'm going to pick Cody just for the sake of,
But before you get into all the picks, let me ask you this real quick. Like, how excited are you about watching this pay-per-view because you know that the crowd in England is going to be rambunctious and they're going to be chanting? Because for me, that's going
to make it fun.
That makes it 10 times better than a regular pay-per-view.
Yeah, that's going to make it fun. That's for sure.
Because they'll be into every little thing. So can you imagine how loud the boos are going to be for Dom and how loud the pop is going to be for Cody Rhodes?
And that's without.
I already got tingles.
And that's without WWE enhancing the audio. So
yeah,
which I kind of wish they wouldn't. Only just so we can hear the natural, because I think they would get the reaction they want without having to enhance it. But
not for Charlotte Flair now.
No, I mean for Dom.
Oh no, they already have been getting the. I felt like
that was enhanced.
Was it enhanced?
Oh yeah. They milked that one. So, for the Intercontinental Championship, Gunther defending against Matt Riddle.
I think Gunther wins.
Oh, of course Gunther wins.
But
I guess the question will be, will there be shenanigans, or will Gunther win at least somewhat cleanly?
Well, my question is, like, who's booking this thing? Because usually if you're like, if it's Vince booking and you're in your home area, in this case all of Europe, you're supposed to lose, right?
Well, and we have heard, Vince is, making his changes and pretty much disrupting what Triple H has. But I don't see Matt Riddle winning the title. Gunther's going to prevail. I think, like I said, it's going to be a matter of, does he get help from Vinci or Kaiser, or is it relatively clean?
I was thinking that maybe, just maybe, if the reports are true, that we might get to see the return of, one Randall Keith Orton and possibly cost a win for Matt Riddle, setting them up if he's available to go, so they can pit against each other, because that was supposed to be the natural end to their partnership.
I guess
to enhance Matt Riddle beating the Legend Killer, and that's
maybe,
how he kind of built his.
I don't know. I don't know if Randy's coming back. I've heard conflicting reports. So it's kind of like, until he's back, I just assume he's not going to be there. So
so clean win or dirty win?
I think it's going to be relatively clean. There might be a couple shenanigans, but I think it's going to be relatively clean.
I think there's definitely going to be like a chair to the head or something, and then like a roll up with the pull of the tights to win. Easy.
That's possible. For the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships, Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler defending against Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez.
Do you like what
they are going? They are going after the belts that they did not lose.
But do you like that now they're the undisputed tag champions?
Sure, that didn't really make much of a difference to me.
Well, it's a weak
division. I'm glad they melded they merged the NXT titles into it, because there's obviously not enough. I don't think there's enough women in NXT to make a tag team division.
No, and that's why I felt it was smart.
So it was smart. Yeah, that's fine.
But I like the storyline here. They never lost the titles,
which that's fine. I mean, that's good. I mean, they're not winning, but hey.
Oh, you don't think they're going to beat Rousey and Baszler?
No,
not even close.
No.
Jeez, I thought they might have like at least an outside chance. Like, I wouldn't be too shocked if they did lose the belts.
No,
I don't
they
think
want Rousey.
Will.
They want those belts to stay on Rousey and Baszler for a while. So
does it hurt or help the belts?
I don't know, because I'm not
Well, Well, you're not into it because the
I'm not
belts don't
yeah.
enter it. The belts haven't mattered. And it's like,
No,
takes,
it has nothing to do with the belts. I'm just not. It's kind of like, okay, Ronda Rousey wrestles. Okay, yay.
Yeah,
Whatever.
exactly. It's all like, okay, I wanted to see this tag team of those two like 3 years ago, and then it never happened, and now it was kind of like an afterthought. So I'm like,
Yeah.
this is what should have happened, but you missed it.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, we'll see. For the WWE World Heavyweight Championship, Seth Rollins defends against Finn Balor. The Finn Balor wanting his revenge for what happened 7 years ago.
I really would like to see him win, like just to get even a short run, because like this belt doesn't really mean as much as like the one that Roman has. We can admit that.
Oh yeah, we know this is second tier.
Yeah, so there's no.
But I don't think they're gonna have Seth drop it this quickly.
I want to say that they don't want to, but I wouldn't be against hot potatoing it, because this would give Finn his moment in front of his crowd, even though he's supposed to be the heel. Just kind of like a thank you for, really coming back and being like main event caliber and being one of the MVPs, I feel, of this 2023 for WWE.
Right. I mean, I'm still gonna say Seth, but
I'm really different with you in a few things on this one.
You going Finn on this one?
Yeah, I think because like kind of like how. Do you remember that one episode or that one time that Steve Austin was champion and then he lost, and then Kane was champion for just one night, and then they went back to Raw and they kind of overturned that? I think this is just something to pop the European crowd, and then they would go back to regularly scheduled storyline with Seth and with the title.
Yeah, maybe.
Or like, because Damian Priest or somebody has to cost one of those two, because there's been too much animosity. So somebody has to cost somebody something.
Maybe. We'll see. And then the Bloodline Civil War. The undisputed champion, is that what we're calling him now instead of Universal?
I would go with
because the belt says the undisputed champion.
I'm okay with
which
that.
you can't call it undisputed because Seth has the world title.
No, but he is the undisputed champion because he beat the guy to be the guy. You know what I'm saying? It's like saying that it's a boxing style lineage. If you beat the man, you're the.
Anyway, Roman Reigns, Solo Sikoa taking on Jimmy and Jay.
Yeah. There's not going to be a clean finish to this, is there?
No.
I don't think we get a win. Like, I think it ends DQ.
Like a double DQ?
Like, I think one of the teams wins regardless by DQ, but I don't think it's a double DQ. Like, somebody's supposed to hit somebody with something, ref actually catches it, and that might give like the Usos the win.
Yeah.
But nobody really wins. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to say that, I think Usos win by DQ, if that makes sense.
I do kind of think the Usos will win.
But it's too soon, too, right? If they want to draw this out until like SummerSlam for the Usos just to straight up win. Because I think you need to have the Bloodline storyline going into SummerSlam, and that's where it should wrap up, because that's like your biggest pay-per-view of the summer.
By the way, so we're taping this on Tuesday night. We're watching NXT, and they're replaying Raw Underground.
Oh, one of their best segments ever, if they just would have given it a chance. It wasn't the worst thing that they ever done. It wasn't Brawl for All.
No, that's true. All right. So who do you have winning the Bloodline Civil War, at least this chapter?
Yeah, I have the Usos winning by DQ.
Okay. I'm going to say the Usos win. I don't know if it's going to be by DQ, but, I think the Usos will get a win because they got to continue the story. So,
and that's why I'm like, I think it's going to be by DQ, because there's no way that Solo or Roman can eat a pin right now.
Solo could eat a pin, and it wouldn't hurt him.
Maybe. But, I mean, definitely Roman wouldn't be taking that pin, that's for sure.
Yeah.
And I think if somebody does get pinned from the Usos, it would be Jimmy, right? Because Jay right now is the guy that's hot.
I suppose. All right, let's pick the Money in the Bank ladder matches. Let's start with the women's match, which I would suspect will start the the show. You have Becky Lynch, Trish Stratus, Zoe Stark, Io Sky, Zelina Vega, and Bayley.
Pretty strong lineup.
Now, if you believe the reports, the rumor, innuendo, there is allegedly a push within the company to have Io Sky win.
I can see that.
I could see it, except Vince is involved, which means it could be Bayley. For that matter, it could be Trish Stratus.
I don't think Trish Stratus would factor into this.
I don't think so either. But
would that be?
I'm gonna go ahead and say I'm gonna pick Io Sky just for the sake of. I think she's the favorite. But
but we're in Europe.
It's a soft favorite, I guess.
Yeah, because I'm like, we're in Europe. Becky Lynch is still hot.
Yeah.
She'll have the crowd behind her. I'll go Lynch.
All right.
Just because it's like the safe pick. And she can always lose that Money in the Bank at some other point in time, as the 2023 season of WWE progresses.
Yes. Okay. All right. And then the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. Ricochet, Shinsuke Nakamura, LA Knight, Santos Escobar, Damian Priest, Butch, and Logan Paul.
Yes.
Now, again, kind of like with Io Sky, the reports that we've seen, the talk around the campfire, there is apparently a push to have LA Knight win this match.
Hell yeah. There should be.
But, and believe me, I would love to see LA Knight get that briefcase.
Yeah!
However, the fact that Logan Paul is now in this match, I have this sick feeling that they're going to have Logan Paul win.
Oh.
I'm going LA Knight. I'm picking LA Knight. Trying to manifest that into existence.
I think we all are. Because that's all I was going to do. I was just going to go like this for the people. If you were going to ask me, I was just going to point 3 times. I figured you get exactly where I'm
All right.
at.
There we go. That's WWE Money in the Bank this Saturday, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, on Peacock from the O2 Arena in London, England. So, when we come back from this break, we'll let you know what's happening in independent wrestling around the state of Texas. You're listening to Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, and you're listening to The Horn. 14:22. All right, that's pretty good. Okay, Justin, I need you to entertain YouTube and Twitch. I gotta go to the bathroom.
I think this is the first time that Stu's ever taken a break during the middle of a show.
Go ahead and stand up.
Like, for real. I think that really is the first time I've ever seen him take a break during the show. Of course, you can always send your questions to us here on the chat. I think we'll see him at some point. And, of course, you can always follow us on Twitter at SGTWATX for anything wrestling or sports related for the most part. I'm pretty sure Stu will get back to you. But, yeah. This Money in the Bank, I think it's always enhanced because the European crowd's going to be lit. Should make it a fun view. I'm interested to see how it will stack up against the AEW card that we just witnessed in Forbidden Door. Obviously, you won't have those dream matchups that most pro wrestling fans were yearning for, but I think a lot of us, and I can't speak for all of you out there, but I think a lot of us are really hoping to see LA Knight come away with the briefcase. And I think if that happens, that would make the entire show worth it. But again, I don't know if you have a favorite match that you might be really looking forward to seeing. Obviously, the Bloodline Civil War, that's going to be enticing. I'm really thinking that that's going to carry on until SummerSlam. But of course, it's WWE. We don't know who's booking it necessarily, so it can go in a multitude of directions. So as they're showing commercials here, as we get ready for going back to NXT, they're going to try to track down Alundra Blaze's WWF Women's Championship, apparently. Like, you as a viewer, what type of WWE consumer are you? Are you one of those people that ends up watching everything that they produce, like Stone Cold Does America or whatever it's called, or you watch Total Divas and you watch all the extra entertainment that they put out there, or are you one of those people that just watches WWE when you do watch it for just the wrestling? I guess it really just depends on your fandom. For me, I really am more wrestling based. Every now and then I'll watch one of those A&E shows, but it's never really been something I go out of my way to watch. Obviously, talking about viewing, I would also consider what is coming out this week with Dark Side of the Ring, as it's going to be based on Junkyard Dog. And I really honestly feel that I'm too young to really understand his significance in pro wrestling lore, just because I didn't really watch it firsthand. I got it all secondhand. And even then, it's not like we've really had a whole lot of biographies on the Junkyard Dog like we have had with Hogan or Randy Savage, or in a lot of cases like a guy like Jake Roberts or Bret Hart or Ric Flair. You know, he's always been well known, but he just wasn't, I guess, at that level to where they were going to be making biographies about him for years and years and years, like Stone Cold. So I am interested to see this. People that have been watching Dark Side of the Ring, especially with that Matt Bourne one that just came back out, you know, they did leave some stuff out that does get pretty dark, and I really don't feel like talking about it here because I think Stu's coming back. But I'm wondering how dark this JYD episode's going to get, just because apparently, you know, he has a pretty significant downturn after the WWF stuff doesn't work out.
Oh. All right, thank you.
Now, are you excited about this upcoming Dark Side of the Ring with JYD?
I am.
Like I was telling them.
And that's later tonight, actually, 9 p.m. Central here in Austin on Vice.
Yeah, because I was telling them I'm not really familiar with JYD at his peak. You know, all I really know is WWF JYD. So
yeah, where
I don't know how dark it gets after this.
I'm actually very familiar because that was, again, in fact, Mid-South Wrestling was the first wrestling I watched on TV.
How dark is this going to get? Because I'm really not familiar with JYD.
I don't know, because I don't know what they're going to go on.
Because I was telling them, like, while Matt Bourne's was pretty dark, they did leave out some of the more dark, things.
They did, yeah. I don't know how dark Junkyard Dogs will go. I think because he was a superstar before he went to WWF. I mean, he was pretty much the face of Mid-South Wrestling.
Oh, I know, and that's why.
And I think Bill Watts did that on purpose. He wanted Junkyard Dog to be that guy in the ring that everybody can get behind, because you think back to the early 80s. And especially all the places where they ran shows. Mm-hmm. You're talking rural Louisiana.
Yeah.
as well as some, Texas
Oklahoma?
and Arkansas. And let's just say race relations weren't great.
Yeah. I mean, it's no lie.
But the Junkyard Dog was that one star. I dare say he was a bigger star than Hacksaw Jim Duggan in Mid-South. And I think Hacksaw would admit that.
Really?
I really do.
But, again, I didn't see them while they were... Would you consider that their prime? Or would you say...
In the early days? Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I mean, them as performers, like when they were in Mid-South, they were in their prime, and when they got to WWF, they were a little older, or how?
It wasn't so much that they were older. It was a different style of wrestling.
Oh.
Remember Vince at the time? He was still running very family friendly, all that good stuff. Mid-South wrestling was hardcore. And you could say the same thing about World Class. It was stiff. And it wasn't. I mean, it wasn't like overtly. We're not talking ECW type stuff, but it wasn't. It was wrestling. It was pro wrestling. So I'll be interested. I'm interested to see what they have on that show, and that'll come up again. That's in about half an hour. So
yeah, because I definitely don't know too much about him. So it's like, this is one I'll watch just so I can kind of learn about him a little bit more.
Well, and I'll watch it just to relive those times, when he was in Mid-South.
I wonder how much of it they're going to touch on. Because, everybody.
I know it has something to do. I know there's something about, Bill Watts needed a heel to go against JYD, and that's why they went with Ted DiBiase, who was actually in JYD's wedding.
Oh, for real?
Yes, there's pictures that so the Twitter account, which I think is Dark Side of the Ring, they put up a wedding photo of JYD and his bride, and there's Ted DiBiase standing next to him.
Oh, wow.
So, and he headed up the Rat Pack with Matt Bourne and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. So, now eventually DiBiase, obviously Hacksaw turned babyface, and then eventually Ted DiBiase turned babyface. So, but yeah, I'm interested to see it. I really am. I think it's going to be. I think there will be stuff in there that, you probably make you think. So,
what's been the best episode so far
this season?
Mm-hmm.
There's only been.
It's been like 4, right?
No, I think this is number 4.
Oh.
They had the Tammy Sitch. They had Matt Bourne. There was one other, I think.
Yeah, I'm even forgetting.
Matt Bourne was really good. I had heard about some of the stories with Matt Bourne. I mean, we've all heard, we all kind of know the Tammy Sitch situation.
Well, that episode really focused more on Candido than it did on her, which was good because I felt like more people didn't really know about Chris Candido.
They did. I recall this was like 95, maybe 94, 95.
Mm-hmm.
I was at a WWE event in San Antonio, and I was going to be a guest ring announcer for her. So I'm sitting near the entrance, and I look behind me. So the entrance is behind, or I guess curtain behind me, and I see Chris Candido poke his head out. I just said, "Hey, I love your work. He goes, thanks. And he was sad that he passed away so young.
Yeah, I didn't realize how young he
Yeah.
was. And I always thought maybe it was a drug thing, but just turns out it was really just bad luck.
It was just, that's all it was.
And just him like
Magnum TA, that was the other one.
That's the one. Yeah, that one was actually pretty good.
That one was good.
But the fact that
he was the one that was supposed to take over for JYD, and even you heard Flair talk about it. He was going to be a world champion.
Oh yeah. I think they kind of overbuilt him in that episode though, because at no point was he ever going to rival Hulk Hogan. But
we don't know. That's the thing. I mean, that at the accident happened in like 86, 85, 86, something like that.
Yeah.
And he was, it's another one. It's one of those things. There's a lot of, we'll get back to the show soon, I promise. There are a lot of those moments in wrestling where you kind of go, what if? Like, what if Ric Flair doesn't recover from that plane crash?
Oh, yeah.
What if David Von Erich doesn't die in Japan?
Yeah, what happens if Vince doesn't screw Brett,
What happens if WrestleMania failed?
That would have been crazy. Like, I don't think wrestling would have ever gotten out of the bars. Because, like...
No. We might still have the territories.
Man, well, there were already other guys that were trying to go national.
Because everybody else, it was the old school thinking, you don't cross the lines.
But wasn't Vern already doing that before even Vince really started acquiring territories too?
What do you mean?
Because Vern had more than just Minnesota. He had like
he had basically
like the
north,
whole,
kind of Midwest.
Yeah, he had like the whole Midwest plus some parts of Canada, and then he was just starting to expand.
I mean, then again,
then he would expand.
Jim
to
Crockett
Vegas.
had the Southeast.
Yeah,
but
he didn't have Florida until he expanded into Florida. He had
no,
more of
because
the
the Grahams. Oh, that was another one we missed.
Yeah,
so there is five.
See, there are. That's actually a good episode too.
That was interesting
because I didn't know too much about them either.
I knew a little bit about Championship Wrestling for Florida. I knew Dusty made his name there. I knew a lot of guys. Lex Luger was. He was a huge star in Florida before he went to Crockett.
Didn't even know that.
Yeah, he was.
I just know he was an ex-football player before.
He played for the Packers.
Yeah, before he got into the pro wrestling thing, and he was like one of the first contracted guys.
Yeah. So. Yeah. It's such a good series. Good God. And they still got more stories. That's what Evan Husney was telling me when I interviewed him. They've still got more stories to look at.
See, and that's
dive into.
That's what's interesting to me, because I kind of feel like, I thought they pretty much covered all like the big stuff.
I would have thought after the second season they were pretty much done. But
who else could you possibly cover that we haven't seen yet? And like, there's
stuff that from the last 20 years they could.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like, how can you look at things like, yes, you can keep on producing this stuff for wrestling fans, but when is it too much ratings wise? Like if you're looking for a story on somebody that we really haven't heard of, that's really obscure wrestler or something like that, I don't think it would have the same viewership if it was over somebody.
And they had one of those last season. The guy that was from Canada. He was a biker he was in a biker gang, but he wrestled.
Yeah, it was the guy that wrestled for Jim Cornette, right?
Yeah,
the True to the Crew guy.
Yeah,
I know he's in Jericho's book because he wrestled in Smoky Mountain.
But see, that's the thing. I don't.
But yeah, I wouldn't know too much about him besides that.
Yeah.
Why is she dumping paint on her?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I mean. No NWO, just paint.
Just paint.
And it's like
blue and orange.
Yeah, like I wonder what's that supposed to signify?
Is she a Florida Gator or?
It's NXT 2.0 again, or what?
I don't know. That's weird. All right, let's do this last segment and make magic.
It looks weird.
Looks very weird. All right, YouTube, Twitch. We'll be right back. Back here on Sports Guys Talking Wrestling, Stu Myrick, Justin Smith Simmons. It was good to see Jeff Cobb on Forbidden Door. Still he's one of my favorites. Not only one of the strongest men in wrestling, but he's just such a good guy. So it was so good to, back in the Wrestle Circus days, hanging out with him. Mm-hmm. Just a good dude overall, so. Got a few independent cards to tell you about this week. We are going to start in Corpus Christi. Gulf Coast Wrestling Alliance presents Texas Heat 2 Friday night at the Valencia Event Center in Corpus Christi. Bell time 7 p.m. Central. Flip Gordon will be there. Chandler Hopkins, Jasmine Allure, Khan, and more. That's Gulf Coast Wrestling Alliance Friday night in Corpus Christi. DFW All Pro Wrestling presents Dojo Wars and All the Smoke 2. 2 shows. Friday at the Haltom Theater in Haltom City. Bell time 7:30 p.m. Central. Barrett Brown will be there. LC Mox, Angel Camacho, Killicate, and more. That's DFW All Pro Wrestling Friday night in Haltom City.
Stu, I have to ask you real quick. Is that one ticket for 2 shows, or is that one ticket?
One ticket for 2 shows.
Nice.
Sabotage Wrestling presents Hey Ladies 3 Saturday at Come and Take It Live here in Austin on Riverside Drive. Bell time noon Central. Vert Vixen, Danny B, Harley Jane, Delilah Doom, and more. That's Sabotage Wrestling this Saturday in Austin. And Metroplex Wrestling presents We're Addicted to Pain Saturday at the MPX Event Center in Bedford. Bell time, 8 p.m. Central. The Ring of Honor Women's World Champion Athena will be there. Tanda Manning, Sky De La Cremosa, Ocho Camacho, Dalen Cavens, and more. That's Metroplex Wrestling this Saturday night in Bedford, and that's a look at independent wrestling around the area. Wherever you may be, go out and support independent wrestling. A lot of wrestling happening.
Well, yeah, and just right before July 4th.
Athena getting out on the indies, so that'd be good. Let's go a couple of stories. So Grayson Waller got drafted to SmackDown back in April. We have not seen him wrestle yet. He has hosted the Grayson Waller Effect each week, but he hasn't wrestled a match yet. Well, now we know why. Apparently, and he revealed this, in his last NXT match against Carmelo Hayes back in April, he broke his leg.
Dang, well, that makes sense.
I believe it was a clean break of the femur.
So they've been giving him the Shawn Michaels treatment.
So for now, he's hosting his little talk show, which has been fun. And in fact, I think he's supposed to have talk show his Grayson Waller Effect this Friday on SmackDown. Mm-hmm. So that's why we haven't seen him wrestle yet. So hopefully Grayson Waller can recover from the broken leg and full and speedy recovery.
Oh, yeah, because I want to see what he can do against the main roster.
Yeah, so WWE has announced a shakeup to their backstage interviewer assignments and show hosts. Jackie Redmond, who's been doing a lot of studio work, she will join Byron Saxton as a backstage interview on Monday Night Raw. She will also co-host the kickoff shows for their premium live events with Kayla Braxton. I've seen her a little bit, and she does a fine job. So now she will join Byron Saxton, my new buddy. We got to hang out at WrestleMania. So Mega Morant She will move to the studios in Stamford. She will host Raw Talk and SmackDown Lowdown, the two shows that follow those respective shows on USA. I think both those shows are on Peacock. She will also have other assignments and such, but so she will be based in Stamford at their studios. And then Kathy Kelly, who has been working Raw, she's going to move over to SmackDown to join Kayla Braxton as a backstage interviewer. So, a little bit of a shake-up. It'll be good to see some, faces, different faces back and forth there. So, that'll be fun. And then I got this email. Really, it's kind of interesting. So, Online Betting Guide, they have published their study on the top 10 most cost-effective sports personalities on Cameo. Y'all know what Cameo is. It's, you can get a personalized video from somebody, wedding, birthday, whatever. So they have their top 10 most cost-effective sports personalities. 4 of the top 5 are wrestlers.
Really?
Number 1, Matt Hardy.
Is it because he goes through like trouble to?
I don't
special.
I don't know, but it is one and only Matt Hardy. Delightful. Number 2, Kurt Angle. Number 3, Anthony Corelli, who you know as Santino Marella.
Mm-hmm.
And then number 5, Rob Van Dam.
Well, we all know why it's Rob Van Dam. I'm sure he brings his, girlfriend and his wife into the cameos for you.
Yeah, that may be it. So anyway, a little interesting tidbit, if you want to get some messages on Cameo.
So cost-effective.
Cost-effective, so. And you can check those things out. Online Betting Guide has that study. And that'll do it for this week's Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. You can follow Justin Smash Simmons on Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch at @TheSmashSimmons. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Stu Myrick. That's STEWMYRICK. You can follow the show on Twitter and Twitch at SGTWATX. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Sports Guys Talking Wrestling. We live stream on YouTube and Twitch most Tuesday nights at 7:30 p.m. Central. You can catch us Wednesday nights starting next week at 9 p.m. Central on the flagship radio station for University of Texas Athletics, The Horn, 104.9, 101.9 FM and AM 1260. Or you can catch us anytime on demand by either going to hornfm.com and click on the On Air tab, or by subscribing to us on your favorite podcast provider. Make sure you rate and review us while you're there. For Justin, I'm Stu. Thank you so much for giving us part of your time. Have a great Independence Day weekend, and we will see you at the matches.
Goodbye and good night. Bang!
There we go.
They
All
said
right.
this is the arm.
Oh.
And that he wrestled 10 minutes more with that type of break for Danielson.
Wow.
Right? That's crazy that he worked through that.
So it's from Fightful. So Sean Ross Sapp and the boys posting the X-ray of Bryan Danielson's arm.
That came from Brie.
Came from his wife Brie Garcia, formerly known as Brie Bella. And sure enough, it is a clean break right at the forearm. So right about here.
Yeah, it's just snapped. That's crazy. And to think that he did what he did. That.
And he wrestled for 10 more minutes.
Yeah.
That's some doing.
I never doubted his toughness, but wow, that's impressive.
No kidding.
Oh, I didn't even tell you. You remember how I missed last week? It was really funny because
you had a last minute PA gig, right?
It turned into a whole calamity after that. But long story short,
by the way, thanks to Eddie Cross for filling in last week.
I had to since I ended up working that game. It was for women's professional fast pitch, so the softball.
Okay.
And we have a team here. I wasn't aware of this.
I think I've heard of it.
I see. Now that I did the game, I went back and looked, and I saw that it's Rhea.
Rhea Ripley's in NXT.
That that they've been on the news and stuff like that. Trying to get the word out. But I did not realize that it would all tie into this show because one of the owners is Brandon Phillips, who played with the Red Sox when they won the title, right?
Okay.
And then the other co-owner happens to be Jade Cargill. Yeah. So she's like
owns the Austin team?
Yeah, she's like part owner of the Austin Smoke or
Okay.
they're called the Texas Smoke. But yeah, so she has like a stake in it. So I was like, oh, how funny that it's wrestling night and
The
yet
former TBS champion.
there's like a wrestling
Wow.
link to
Okay.
that work. So yeah, like the second game got rained out, so I didn't get to do another one. But the one I did do to replace to where I couldn't come here, yeah, I was just like, oh, I didn't realize that was her team until after that game.
Well, that's cool.
And I was like, how weird is that, right? And then I was thinking, I'm like, I hope she liked that I did a good job. And then I'm like, maybe that might get me the AEW work that I so sorely want, or at
There
least
you
the
go.
next wrestling gig, if they thought it was
Oh,
good.
they're going to do next week. Creed Brothers versus the Dyad losing team leaves NXT.
Ooh, who do you think is going to be I always
And Mustafa Ali taking on Tyler Bate.
Oh, that's going to be good. That's going to be real good.
It will be good.
And that's 4th of July, right? That's 4th of July night because
That is.
on
It
Tuesday.
is, yeah.
Are they
Blair
going to be
Davenport
live?
versus Roxanne Perez.
Is it going to be live or is it taped?
Good question. Oh, so that's why they were showing. They're going to do NXT Underground. Eddie Thorpe, a.k.a. Carl Fredericks, taking on Damon Kemp.
Okay, so now they're taking that.
That's why they were showing the old Raw Underground clips.
Okay, I'm not against that though, especially for NXT.
Why not?
I think NXT should be
Try
used
something different.
Exactly, kind of like how Major League Baseball uses Minor League Baseball to try different rules
yeah.
and stuff. And I mean, like here, it's like it can go bad. Like nobody's going to expect it to be great.
Yeah.
But I think if they book it, like it was kind of working, but they were just too inconsistent with it. Like they never gave us a reason why they were doing it.
Baron Corbin. He said,
Yeah, he's wrestling in the main
they
event.
He came out to the Lone Wolf stuff.
Oh wow, he even came out in the gear.
Hold on, I got to rewind. I just want to see.
Wow, that's cool though. They're giving them how much time? They're giving them like 10 minutes to work.
Let's see. See if this is. So yeah, it will be next Tuesday. Right here. Okay. The old lone wolf. All right. There's been a lot of talk about people, saying he should go back to that lone wolf thing. So why not? Why not? Carmella Hayes on Raw last night. Okay. Well, this is interesting. Well, we may have to sign off so we can watch some of this. I hope they're not going to put the NXT title on Baron.
I mean, he could use
I mean,
it.
well,
he can use
but no. I think it'd be useless putting it on him. But yeah, we're going to sign off so we can watch this. So thanks, everybody, for joining us. we'll let you know what's happening next week. There will likely not be at SGTW Live. There will be a radio show and podcast of something. We'll figure that out. Stay tuned to our socials, and we'll let you know. But for now, for Justin, I'm Stu.